I'll ask you some questions. Okay, Jack. So let's rewind to kind of before you even signed up for Path to Purpose. Just tell me a little bit about what was going on in life. How were you feeling? What was happening? What were you struggling with?
Yeah. So before Path to Purpose, I was struggling in my job. I wasn't feeling great. I was just like all around very depressed. Kind of knew I wasn't in the right position, knew like I had started wanting, I'd started looking into certificate programs for coaching, for holistic health coaching. And I had already started half of it by the time I met you. So I was making the shifts, but I hadn't made like the biggest shift yet. Because I was still like working a job that like no longer aligned with me. And it was like a great experience, but no longer aligned. So it's kind of where I was, super depressed, just kind of not feeling too good on anything.
Yeah, I know the feeling. What made you decide to join the program?
Um, so I had taken, I think I did like your camp. That was like a 3-day thing. That was like back in the fall. And then I did another thing that you offer that was maybe like a 1-dayer thing. And you kept popping up everywhere after that. And I was like, okay, well, this girl, I like her like camp purpose, and I like this workshop, and I like her vibe, and I like her stories that she was sharing. Cause like what you were sharing was super, like I resonated so much with. I was like, oh, that's like me. I feel that. Or oh yeah, that happened to me, or something similar. So but yeah, then you kept showing up everywhere. So I was like, we'll take that as a sign and we will have a call with her, so that maybe this is the direction I need to go. I was also looking for something different too, because I'm in therapy as well, and I have been for years, but I thought something else. I did coaching back in the day, and I always felt like coaching was like a great way for me to like self-heal too. But I was forgetting a lot of those like tools that I learned. So I was looking for just other ways to help myself feel better, because I knew I wasn't feeling good and I wanted to change that.
Mm. Okay, tell me about the journey, your Path to Purpose journey. What was the experience in the program like? And maybe talk a little bit about what you were hoping to get out of it and what you actually got out of it.
Okay, so my journey started off really rough. I was like very resistant to doing the work, knowing that I needed to do it too, like knowing and doing very different things. And so, but eventually, after a few weeks, I was like, okay, we got to start. And then it started like working through the stuff. But it was definitely like a roller coaster ride for me. It was hard. It wasn't super fun at first. I was like, what did I sign up for? But then you start getting through it and you're like, oh, well, I can handle that. Okay, what's next? And so like you kind of chip away, and then through your sessions too, like weekly, hearing where everyone else is at and knowing that like you're not alone in this, and your feelings are kind of similar to everyone else in this program's feelings, was like super helpful to be like, okay, I'm not crazy. We can keep going. And then just like slowly doing it and realizing that I can go at whatever pace I want to. I didn't have to rush. If I wanted to spend more time on limiting beliefs, I could. If I wanted to spend more time on values, I could. Um, and just, yeah, it was just like a nice flow. But it was definitely like a roller coaster of emotions with highs and lows. But once you start seeing, like doing the work, you start seeing the things, and it definitely like makes you want to keep going. Um, and now like I like by the end, I actually like had people be like, you look so much happier now. Like that was to me, like I was like, oh, this program worked. So like I did all this work the last few months that like no one really knew about. It's not like conversation starters that you want to be like, I'm working on my limiting beliefs today. What are you doing? Um, so, you know, um, but I did, you do the work and you see the results by the end. So it's like it's cool to look back and be like, I'm actually happy now. I like where I'm going. I can see my future and it like looks good.
I'm like melting. I love this. But yeah, it is such a roller coaster, right? It's such a roller coaster. Okay, Jax, can you tell me a little bit about, you started the program, you still had a job. Were in the middle of a training coaching program, a health coaching program. Can you tell me a little bit about just like some of the, you obviously feel so much happier about where you are. You're so much more excited about the direction, but can you get a little bit more specific on like some of the tangible results, like what happened with the job and what are you doing now and some of that stuff?
Yeah. So I knew, like, rewind, pandemic happened, life kind of put on hold. I got super duper sick right at the beginning of the pandemic. And I realized that it was like, I got so sick because I was so stressed. And my body like made me rest for like 2 months. I was in bed, was not, and then I did not want to get back to that. So I was always in the back of my head was like, I cannot let myself ever get back to where I'm in bed for 2 months and so sick with like this terrible disease. And so I did not want to get back there. So we're going through the pandemic. Things were still slow. So like work wasn't too bad. It was manageable because like we weren't doing a lot of things during 2020. But towards the end of 2020, it started kicking back up. And I saw myself like slipping with like all the habits I was building. Like I was working out a lot and that was starting to go. I was just miserable too. Like I had so much anxiety, so many things. So it kind of got to a breaking point like early in this year in 2021, where I was like, I can no longer do this. And I finally had like the confidence after kind of starting a lot of the stuff with you, having the confidence to leave. Because I was hearing other people are like, oh, I left my job. I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. I could leave my job. I like talked to my husband and I was like, I don't think, like, he knew it was no longer a fit for me either. Like we both were like, this is just no longer a personal fit. Nothing against anyone, just the way life works. And so I left. After that, like it took a couple of months, I would say, like to fully transition off and fully like start to feel like I wasn't anxious and I wasn't like still on that hamster wheel, so to speak. And I was studying still and finishing up. So December of last year, I finished up one certification. I'm currently taking the test for my second certification. So I will be finishing very, very soon. But then it allowed me to like just study and work on myself after leaving the job. So I kind of enjoyed moving at a much slower pace. I've built in really good morning rituals and practices and routines. I actually have a morning routine and I kind of have a night routine now too, which is exciting. And like during the day, I kind of also check in with myself. And some days I'm like, I'm not feeling it. I'm going to go for a walk instead, or I'm going to go, like my sister-in-law will call me like, hey, do you want to go for a walk with her baby and her? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like normally I would have never done that before this. So just enjoying like the simple things, and being able to actually like enjoy life and then have a nice balance between what I'm doing, trying to do professionally with coaching, specifically health coaching, and then also like take care of me. So hopefully that answered your question.
No, it totally did. So you ended up finding the confidence to leave your job. You were already taking health certification classes, but now you're finishing and you're feeling confident and excited and ready to start your business.
Yep.
And you're doing it in a way that's like actually in alignment with you and your body and what you need. And you have all these routines that are actually going to support you in becoming the entrepreneur that's not going to burn herself out, that's actually going to be able to both take care of you and serve other people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yay. Okay, tell us a little bit about like who do you think the program is the right fit for? If somebody's watching this, like who's the right fit for the program from your eyes?
I think anyone trying to make themselves better, because I think anyone can benefit from a little self-improvement and working through some stuff. We all have crap in our back. So it's nice to find ways to process it, and different tools. I think having a holistic view of how you heal yourself is super valuable. So anyone that wants to heal any wound, and find their way in life should join your program. And then, of course, like anyone who wants to actually define like what their purpose is in life, it's kind of really cool. So to do that and like to then build your life around your purpose. So anyone who wants to do that.
Any just final things and words that you'd like to share just about the experience or anything that, any final words?
I truly enjoyed the program. I think it was super beneficial. I'm glad I did it. I'm glad I put myself first this year and focus on me. That way I can show up for everyone else. And I've enjoyed getting to know you, Emily.
Yes, I loved working with you, Jax. Oh, you're the best. Okay, Jax, I'm gonna try recording.